Okay. So this is going to be a very fun and exciting broadcast. Let me bring Ksenia over here so that we can start monitoring things. Should be really fun. I've been looking forward to have Ksenia in here because she's been amazingly helpful in my career. So she does know everything about. Just placing the last preparations in here. It's been a fantastic, strong, long day, as it should be, when we get to this moment in the year. Some what we can call homework or housework or house rules. I hope the internet connection is good so that we can go ahead with questions and deep diving into the details, and I think that will be really cool. And I would be looking forward to do this. I know that there is a ton of people. Well, at least yesterday night, I got really at least one call saying, "Hey, how am I going to do? What does this mean about branding? What is the overall idea for this branding in space, and what does it do?" You know? So we might just make sure Ksenia is coming live with us. Yeah, exactly. Oh, wow, this is very nice, having the ability to see what's happening in the post side as well. Very nice. Yeah. Ksenia says that she's. You guys keep joining. If you have already questions, please, please just write them down or place it over there so that we, during the course of the session, we should be able to answer them. And the big thing, because this series of the Space Master Plan, and then this one we call it Branding Beyond the Stars. And we have more things coming. Well, some of these do sometimes in a what I call a weekly basis. So it's you might get me one of these days speaking by myself, and we'll go into what will be. Oh, Ksenia is here. Ksenia!
Hi, Gonzalo.
Hello!
Hi. Hello, Gonzalo.
Hello.
So glad to see you.
So glad to see you. Let me tell you just right off the bat that I'm nervous with this podcast. To be fair,
because of me,
because of you, because of the fact that this is a non-technical thing. Okay, no, okay, it could be very technical, correct? You all know my plans and all of that stuff, but I'm really nervous because I think. And we've prepared, we had good conversations before, but I think there is so much to dig into in terms of what is this branding for space? What's been the experience so far? So let me get started. Okay, let me organize my mind because I had good caffeine over.
Do you need a minute?
No, I'm good. I'm good. So, welcome, Ksenia. Let me introduce. No. Let me ask you to introduce yourself, okay? And then I'll introduce you. How can we do that first?
Of course, of course. Well, I'm Ksenia, or Space Ksenia. I'm a mentor of space leaders, and I'm giving education on personal branding and how to become visible in the space arena. I recently got into list of top 100 women in aerospace sector to follow on LinkedIn, and just several days ago, actually, top 100 space professionals again to follow on LinkedIn. So the start of the year was pretty amazing, and currently I'm in Dubai. I'm at the conference for entrepreneurs. We are around 700 people and it's going crazily here. So I just found a free room. I'm like, I need this room because I have the podcast. So, and I'm super happy to be here. And by the way, Gonzalo was in in the first cohorts of my course in personal branding, and yeah, it was really exciting having you as a student as well, because you are a phenomenon, because you created during the course like 100 videos. So how many?
I created 126.
126. Yeah, fantastic. So I'm super happy to be here on this podcast. I think this is amazing initiative, and definitely I've always enjoyed the energy that you were giving to all of the students, and that you also do give on your social media. That is so seen. So I'm very glad to be here.
Okay, so well, thanks for that. Ooh, I feel very, very flattered.
I actually introduced your.
Thank you very much for that. I want to start by saying that Ksenia created this. I'm gonna call it a weird program. Okay, like branding for space. I was like, I feel that this is needed, and we started saying for the new generation. I was like, no. This is for everyone. So it was Anthony that introduced us, that showed this, and we created a LinkedIn page. But most important, there was this idea that you could. Okay. Ksenia, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Suddenly, my. Oh, here you are. Just some technical thing over here. But suddenly there was this idea that in order, and it was very clear by talking with you, I think that at that moment that was more of just an idea that in order for me to succeed in the space sector, I would need to brand myself, or to rebrand myself, or to something myself. And finding a course and finding someone that was driving that was really, it was important for me. I would say that I would do it. I would do it. The difference is that doing within a group, following a method, with people that support you, with pushback and follow back, and with forms we have to do. There is one exercise. We'll talk about that, but there is exercises that I find fundamental for many different positions in career or time. So I think we have to talk about that next.
I think I even know about what exercise you're talking, because I think every student is talking about this exercise. Yeah.
So I want to start with something. We want to take one thing out of our backs. No, sorry. We want to put one thing in front of us, like we talked before. That is, Ksenia is from Russia. I'm from Portugal, and we are in the US. There is currently a war happening between Russia and Ukraine. We will not recognize that, but we don't make a political statement in here. We recognize. I recognize that the war is something bad. I don't recognize invasions and this. I have got my own values and views, and today we'll focus on the space sector. Okay, so if there is any questions around war, we are unable to do much things except pray and wish that leaders have good sense and eventually stop killings and deaths. So that's, I know that this is wishful thinking, but I do believe the world is good. So, but I wanted to get this off before, and I would like Ksenia also to put a couple of words in that.
Yes, of course. It is a tough topic, honestly, and it is still unbelievable that actually in 21st century we're still talking about it, about the topic like war. And here, regarding like some notes to my introduction as well. I am a Russian citizen holding a Russian passport, obviously, who was born in Kazakhstan, lived until I was 15 in Kazakhstan, and then for a few years as I was little, like I was 5 years old or something, so we moved to Siberia with my family, and then we moved back to Kazakhstan. And as I was 15, I moved abroad. I moved to Switzerland to study at boarding school. And then I spent 10 years in Austria. And for the past 3 years, I've been living in Turkey. So I consider myself definitely as a global citizen. And this is a weird thing that I will say now, but I wish that we would not have passports, nationalities, like all those kind of things. Because I really feel that everything depends on the person. And we all can be so open-minded. And then when the politics gets in, it's just, it's just like a heavy push on you. And this is a sad thing. I feel that, every war definitely, no matter where it is a tragedy, a big tragedy for the world and for every country, party that is participating there, because it's all about people, and I'm not sure who is looking there at the people. And I definitely, this is actually one of the biggest reasons why I love being in the space sector. Because when you consider the world, like different aspects, let's say when we fly to a different country, we need a passport. There are borders. You need to, you have all those controls, all those checks. What is your background, like everything. When we talk about marine, there are borders. When we talk even about schools, different levels of schools. When we talk about nationalities, religions, everywhere there are borders on Earth. And for me, I feel like space is the only place where we don't have any borders. And I think that everyone on Earth should take an example from the space sector, how people are collaborating together. And currently at the ISS, there are different astronauts from with different backgrounds from different countries. And thankfully, they perfectly work together to bring space exploration further. So, and I think this is astonishing what we have in the space sector.
Yeah, indeed. So I wanted to get that out to understand that from my view, I do condemn the war and the way that this has happened. And just want to make sure that everyone that is listening knows who the people are in here and what we believe. So that's an important thing. And picking up on that, Ksenia, picking up on what we believe and what makes things, well, when we started the course, and I know that you've refurbished the course, you refurbished or you changed the product.
But Sala, I wrote every lecture from scratch.
I knew, because I saw as you, but conceptually you didn't change something that was called the Ikigai.
Not much, actually conceptually and as a structure wise, I barely had changed anything. So really just like maybe some small moves, like with experience, where also like all the time we get updates, we get new trends and so on. But the basics, it is the same, because I believe that it just has the same structure, and the structure that I've identified as a methodology in the first cohort. This is a structure that I believe is the correct one for now. I don't know how it will be in the future. Maybe I will I will change everything. But right now, this is this is the same. And we had that today.
What is the ikigai? What is this thing? We are saying it here, a big word. What is this thing? If we have and why is it important for someone that is on someone or a company? Because I believe that this applies to companies as well. I truly believe that. I also truly believe that it's because of a specific, well-defined ikigai that SpaceX just flies faster, runs faster than anyone else.
Everything, exactly. This is correct, Gonzalo, because you're saying like it applies as for individuals and for companies. But honestly, how does the company work? I mean, with people, right? With every experience, knowledge, know-how of an individual. And all together, these people as a team, they bring the company forward. So Ikigai is something that I definitely recommend to every person, to do for every person, no matter what industry you are in, what you are doing, you are working, you are not working. This is something that a must-have, I would say, for everyone. So Ikigai is a Japanese concept of happiness. And with diving deeper and deeper each cohort into Ikigai topic, I love just to dig into the things that I'm interested in, and everything, like why there is Ikigai in a personal branding course in general, right? Like it's also something that, I mean, this was a tool that helped me so much, and everything what we have in the course as well, everything what I did myself. I went through myself, and this is like the methodology that that is now existing. Is everything through from this puzzles pieces that makes it complete. So Ikigai, it is a way of happiness, right? Like this is the definition. But if you Google it, you will find so many definitions. Like I don't know, around 15 or 20 definitions. So. I believe that it is something that each person can really and should really identify for themselves. So for me, it's a formula of having a purpose on life, of being happy with what you're doing. And Ikigai is also a reason why you wake up in the morning. So if I may explain a little bit the concept, first of all, I'd love to recommend you also to read the book on Ikigai. It is amazing. Like just take a Sunday morning for that, and I think that your life might change after that. It also depends, of course, on which level currently you are in. Like if you are sure about your life purpose and if you're sure about your mission, maybe it won't give you that much. But the people with whom I meet, mostly they find it exciting. So I believe it is a useful instrument, a useful tool. So Ikigai has this like 4 main components, which are passion, mission, profession, and vocation. So like if you start with the, so basically, and then we need to find out, identify the core of this Ikigai. And the things are what you love, what the world needs, what you are good at, and what can you be paid for. So if you write down the answers to these questions, it's super simple. Then like everything what is in the middle, what like it has, right, it all connects, all these questions are connected. So, and when you see all your answers and put it into the middle, you will see that in the core, it will be actually what you should do. And this is connected very close to your professional work and also to your personal, so to make yourself happy.
It's very curious because one of the I would say fundamental references of management, the Good to Great book, it thinks about that. It calls it the hedgehog concept. It's slightly different, but it has the same thing. It's a pyramid, 3 circles. You mentioned 4, but because it's really hard, correct? Like for example, the path that I like 2 things. I don't know if me liking something, but this is what I feel. Okay, we have to do this. You tested. No, you drank your own poison, correct? You see what I mean? You tested all of your poisons. You tested all of your drinks in order to say, if you have this will likely happen. And I know this is an empirical analysis, but the path that you are prescribing in the course, the terrible 360 review that you made me do, terrible. No, I mean terrible, but it was really, really good. Okay.
It was terrible in the moment, but the outcome.
Look, Ksenia, I'm deviating a bit on the script, but what I can tell you is that I just place the link to the Ikigai book in here, and I'll place a link as well
Absolutely.
to your course. When I did the capturing of how do people know me from all aspects, okay, and man,
The persona audit.
the persona audit.
Yes.
I did that form in that persona audit, and then with the Ikigai, I was like, man, where am I going? So, how I know that you've run 3 cohorts or 4 cohorts of the course.
First one was a focus group in order to test my techniques, so that it is actually like I had an MVP. It was the simple structure. I had an MVP. It was successful, so I was ready to present it to the world. And currently, we're in the 3rd cohort. I must admit that actually we did 2 cohorts, and then something came in my mind. I realized that I really want to move forward with an individual work. So I started my mentorship, and I believe this was the right decision for that time. So it was like in May, I think. Yeah, May last year. So I've, coming, because course is still a course, right? It's a group, it's a community, which is amazing. But for me, as an educator, as the author of the course, in order to make the perfect program, it was really helpful to have those individual mentorships with, and I still continue with it because I love individual work with people, and it just depends on the goal of the people, right? Like how much deep you want to dive in and what you want to get out of that. And I recommend definitely both. But for example, in the mentorship, I came across with very different challenging situations of each of the participants of the program. And this helped me even more, like to improve the program and to concentrate my to put a focus on the things that were kind of missing. So for a while I was doing this mentorship program, and then honestly I was not planning to do the course again, because I was so happy with that. I was so happy with the results of the people, because I had a responsibility over those results, because it was an individual work. If let's say you were my students, and if I say, Gonzalo, where is your assignment? You're like, Ksenia, I'm sorry, I didn't do that. Like, I cannot do much there, right? It's your decision. When it's individual work, it's still kind of, and you have to get ready for the next meeting. I say, otherwise we're not going to move forward. And this is sometimes that I was even saying to my mentees, if they were not prepared to the session. I'm like, so we're going to do 20 minutes now, and let's move the session to the next week, because you have to be ready in order to move forward. But I was in Paris at the IAC in September. And Gonzalo, like, I met so many of my students from the previous cohorts and my mentees, and they were like, Ksenia, you have to return your course. You have to bring it. Because people were asking them what changed actually, what was the thing, like, because of their confidence, they became more visible, they were in the media and all those kind of things, and they're like, what did you do? So and they said, Ksenia, you have to do it again, because there are people in the line who are waiting for your course. And I said, okay, I'm convinced. So actually it's thanks to the students that we returned the course, and now it's I would say completely different thing, and a crazy thing that we've done. I'm so proud of it.
Ksenia, I remember a couple of things, and I'm just going to bring one of the questions that we've spoken before. That was, man, why does someone need a personal branding course for space? Okay, I'll tell you the 2 extreme examples that I'm thinking about. If I'm really good at building first stages, or this is too much first stage, but if I'm really good at valves, okay, why would I need, and this, I know this is a hard question because I've been debating on this. That is, do I really go deep in a technical skill, like doing, no, in this case, DevSecOps for space, really deep on that, and then, or do I invest more in the areas that, in my case, I believe more, that I love to communicate on space, I love to bring teams together, but I also like the grind of the technicality. So between these two big, like the people that talk about the things, that communicate the things, and the people that do the things, they might be the same, but between these two, why would we need a personal branding course? And what's your take on that? I'm really struggling with the answer. You see what I mean? So
I have the answer. That's why
okay,
you're
let's go.
struggling. So leave it to me. So you are very good at something, right? No matter what. You are an engineer, you are perfect in your job, or you know the perfect solution about how to fight the space debris. Who else does know about it? Your mom, your wife, your kids, maybe your colleagues in the department where you are sitting. So the thing is, like how I explain it, and this is an easy example, I think. Just imagine you got as a Christmas present and a very famous art piece from a well-known artist, Banksy, right? So you love it. It's amazing. Like, it's incredible. You're owning this art piece. So what happens next? You put it in your garage. Who will know about it? Even if 100,000 people will get into your apartment or your house, nobody will know about it, that you're owning this incredible art piece. And what is art piece doing? Gathering dust. But when you take this art piece out of your garage and bring it to the place where everyone would be able to see it, like in a dining room, or I don't know, like somewhere where everyone can see it. All those people who will come in your house, they will not pass by simply this art piece. They will all have their glances, have their attention there on this art piece. So this is the same. So basically, you're a talented engineer, you're a talented manager, I don't know, like you need to put your talents under a spotlight to make it seen. Because otherwise, I mean, if we're talking about space exploration, we want to have the brightest minds of the world there, right? On the highest, like on the top positions. How can we find them if we don't know that they're existing? So it's all about being visible. And I believe that personal brand, it's not about like especially like technical and science, like tech sector people and like scientists, they think like it's about show off or something, you know, like all the social media showing how cool I am. No, it's not about showing that you're a king or a queen there. No, it is truly about like just showing people that like your talents and what you can bring to the world, how you can bring space exploration further in this case. And if you have a solid personal brand, my personal brand program is not about, this is why we have Ikigai. That is why we have this, all the persona audit, the foundation part. Because imagine like personal brand, it's like a game, right? A computer game. So, and this computer game has different levels. So in order to come to the second level and enjoy all the benefits, in our case, it is career opportunities, investors who will give you money for your dream startup and so on. Best team, dream team from all over the world and so on. In order to enjoy the benefits of the second, third, fourth, and fifth level, first you need to identify this foundation. It is like you cannot, you don't start building a house with walls, windows, and the rooftop. First you build a foundation. And this is a real personal brand that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just, okay, put these pictures, do this, change your style, go to a stylist, change your hair, I don't know, whatever, right? I'm not about this. My personal brand is a real, really focused on your personality, on your talents, on all your assets that you have, that you've gathered through your whole life. And this is what we need to showcase the world in order to make the best out of it.
So I wanted to get that across, very direct, because it's, and I'm going to say slightly disagree, because I changed my shirts, because I said I want to go there and always have a different shirt from the white ones. That is, if we find the thing that we like, it should be correct. I'm trying to, to, to get this from my head in here. People work with what they get, correct? People will work with you, with the person that it's live in social media, or it's live in, but it's the same person. So what I believe what you are saying, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that you go for what you are, but you distill that in the course, correct? That's what I felt like. Okay, this is what I
Yes,
am, and in the
yes.
course I'll have the ability to be more of what I am, but within a group and with guidance and following those levels. So is
Because
this
it is tough, Gonzalo. For many people, it is tough to show their vulnerability, to be authentic. I was doing it as well. It's not that I don't know, like I was not doing it this way and now I am teaching everyone. No, like we at some point in life, because of our insecurities or something else, in order to prove ourselves, we're putting some masks on ourselves. We're playing around with clothing and style. It's also very important in personal branding. Don't get me wrong, right? Like it's some attributes and so on. Because when we are presenting in front of the audience, even you have to be dressed, right? But how will you be dressed as well, right? Like, what is your goal? Do you want to get investors' money? Do you want to get a perfect job? It all depends, even the colors and everything. But it's about outstanding presence, something else. But here, really, it's because if we copy other people, it is like we're going to be same, right? But only like being authentic, it is showcasing your uniqueness and becoming, getting into the place, into a perfect place where you will be accepted, where people will support you in what you are doing, where you will have like all these like-minded people, and where you can realize yourself, like where you can really follow your dreams when you are ready to present who you are.
So as you speak, there is a certain, I'm going to use a word in here that is probably big, but I think as you speak was also big. So there is a certain enlightenment. Do you think, I'm going to combine these two questions, that being a woman in space has been hard, and what does that mean? Because there are specific connotations to that. And at the same time, are you living your paradise?
Being a woman in space. Gonzalo, you have interesting questions. So I enjoy being a woman in the space sector. I enjoy being a woman in general. I wouldn't want to change that, I must admit. So it is, I think space is a tough industry, and I think it has nothing to do with gender, for me at least. But maybe it's not a popular opinion. Maybe many will not agree with me. For example, I support very much women in the space sector. I encourage them. I try to inspire them as well. We have a lot of women in my course. However, like our percentage is more or less like 50%.
Exactly.
But the women who we have in the course, they're very strong, and I think you can admit it. You can confirm it.
I can confirm that Isla did. I remember many of the folks from the other cohort, and from the beginning until the end, and sometimes of the chats that we had parallel, and saying, you know what I would say, correct? Like they would say, "Oh, I think I should do that." I said, "What? Haven't you finished it yet?"
Yes.
And but yeah, it's true that the percentage was, we were kind of FF, and I think in the second cohort the two cohorts that,
Yeah, I think we continue with this dynamic.
so I
However, yeah.
I don't know if this is woman versus man thing. I think it's a question of who is willing to do the work.
Exactly. This is what I just wanted to say, that for me, like I'm very supportive and even myself feeling encouraged about like all those initiatives that are happening. For example, Space Prize Challenge, as they were encouraging the girls, the age I think from 14 to 16, from high schools in New York, they were encouraging them to do the competition on like STEM, and I was one of the judges there as well and mentors, and the best ones like were able to win. The best ones won actually the 0G flight, and they got the work mentors. It was really incredible, and I think we should do that because in general, like this is kind of a part of popularization of the space sector in general. So to bring it to the broader audience, and like this, maybe girls wouldn't be aware about space sector or like what other opportunities there like this that they can learn, they can be encouraged in that. So I support definitely those kind of initiatives. And then there is another point that I don't quite support very well. I understand that in order to bring more women in the space sector, we need those quotes and we need like to have those numbers, right? However, there is one thing that me personally, I feel bothered by that. And I'm saying again, this is not the most popular opinion, I guess, but I want to say that because I feel that it's important. So if I would be applying for a job, and I'm a woman, right? And there is a man next to me, like my competitor, who is also applying to the same job. And he's better than me, but they take me because I'm a woman. I wouldn't want to be in that position because this is something, it would tell me, okay, Ksenia, you are not good enough, but you took this job. So I feel that everyone should get a job where we are good enough. So I want to be where I am only if I truly deserve it, but not based on gender or like nationality or anything else. It doesn't matter like what we're talking about, like any of those reasons. So for me, it's just important that I get what I not deserve, but that I get where I should be, like this. And if it was not my position, I don't want to be in that position because I wouldn't be happy.
Do you know of literature around? I'm gonna make a diving, a change in here. The effect of branding or of communication for the individuals in the space sector. I know that you were at the IIC. One of the questions that I had yesterday was, what research exists on this? What's happening in terms of published papers, some kind of data that shows that you should brand yourself or that organizations should brand themselves either by building better products or by developing their own. Because what I'm saying is that how do we know this is something versus just a fad? You see what I mean, Ksenia? Just
are you talking still about women versus men?
No. I'm talking about the overall need for branding, because I know that you've been involved at the IIC. So I'd like you to talk a bit more about your experience there, what you published, and what was the data that you've got from there.
Yes, so that is correct. I was working on my research and I was presenting it at the IEC in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, or 20. I don't remember. So, but it was not actually back then on personal branding. It was about how that space needs space influencers. The space sector needs influencers in order to increase the space outreach. Because again, like we need those figures with huge impact because they have obviously a big audience. We need them in order to bring space closer to the people. But it was not on personal branding. However, so the first idea of the course in general, it was about how to become a space influencer. And then after time, it was changed in the direction of personal branding because since also I was more and more into entrepreneurship as well. And like even because before I was in the space sector, I was working for the corporates, I was in the oil and gas industry and then Siemens. And I've seen just how, and I was in the communications department, so I was
Yes.
always on that side. And we were the people who were also actually like next to CEO and telling, like checking his speeches, their speeches, let's say, or, making sure that everything fits good for the press conference and so on. So it was, for me, I think always like personal branding has been always for me like a part of me that I've seen as important tool in order to come further forward with your career or with your business as well, because this is something that we need on a daily basis, and we all have personal brands. It's not just, it is now a fancy word, let's say like this, right?
Yeah.
Personal branding, I mean, come on, like, okay, there are some also articles that are saying that personal brand is not the same as reputation, it's differently. But if we go back to, let's say, our grandmoms and granddads, I mean, they were all about their reputation, right? Where did they have a good reputation in their company or in the city, or like if you are a top level, I don't know, in politics and or community level, like it will be country, but that's it, right? So, and now we're talking, for me, it is personal branding. It's still like a huge part of the, personal brand includes a big part of your reputation. But just that now with the with the digitalization and like all the social media platforms and so on, it's just like the borders were removed. So now you have a bigger impact, you have a bigger opportunities just to just push your reputation much further than it was before, where you could become just like, let's say, in the city, like on a city level or like maximum country level. If you're, okay, president maybe on the global level, but that's it.
Ksenia, let's go into two different things. One first.
I'm already scared.
No. I asked you before, and kind of when we were talking off stage the other day on, are you living your paradise? Because definitely you are in a combination of from meeting with new entrepreneurs and advising people. What I mean is, do you think you are in your best position now, or is this the thing that you've been dreaming of in terms of space? Okay, because you are in space, and that's something that I've been wondering as well. Ksenia, why space? Before we go to the why did you say space? And like, of course, come on, Gagarin, Yuri's Night. That's easy. That's an easy thing.
I have to disappoint you, Gonzalo. Unfortunately, I have not this perfect story where I say, since my childhood, I've been looking at the stars and I've been dreaming of going to space.
So what is the other perfect story?
So there is a story. However, it is not that perfect, but I'm happy that it happened, because otherwise I wouldn't be where I am today. So I was working in a company, not space, it was Siemens, and I was satisfied with the work, with the job, not overwhelmed, not excited, not very happy, but I was satisfied. It was fine. However, I was not happy with the. I just didn't have like-minded people around me. I was not feeling happy there. And just one day I came home and I said, okay, what can I do to be happy? How can I change that? And I like sometimes, to do self-talk and to do reflections and just dive deeper in the things. And I just said, okay, I've always wanted to work for United Nations. It was my dream. So I just checked all the possible career opportunities there, because I've been living in Vienna and there is a headquarter in Vienna of UN office. So I just applied to several positions that were opened in communications and marketing, something close to communications and international affairs. So this was my expertise, and I just applied. So I've been waiting for an answer. There was no answer for 3 months. So one day I was sitting at my laptop, like checking my emails. I was at the university actually, like listening, not listening to a lecture because it was obviously not that interesting. So I was cleaning my spam folder, and then one of the emails got in my spam folder, and it was written like UNOOSA. I'm like, UNOOSA, what is it? Like, must be spam. And then I'm like, wait, there is like the bell rings, UN. There are two letters, UN.
Yeah.
I'm opening it, and it was an email from United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs. And they were inviting me to an interview, and it was an internship. And at Siemens, I had a job. So it was, like you see, right? Like a trade-off, what are you going to do? So it was, basically, I did this interview. I thought I have to do that. And apparently, like as I found it out later, they found my resume in the pool of other resumes because they needed a person who would be strong in communications and would help them launch a project. It was a project on how space technology can help better water management. So they were creating this platform, Space for Water. So I did this interview, and they said, okay, when can you come? And I'm like, well, I need to ask Siemens. So I went back to my company. I went to my boss and I said about it. And the funny thing was that I had so many over hours. I did so many over hours at Siemens that I could actually, because this project at UN, it was for 2 months only. I said, okay, I'll take a leave for 2 months because anyway, like I worked too much and it was exactly this period of time. And then I will get back to Siemens, right? Sounds like a safe plan.
Yeah,
it was back then, Ksenia was always on the safe side, right? Now it's a risky, Ksenia. Let's try this hypothesis. Let's do that. Let's test it. So it was back then. And then my boss said, you have to choose either Siemens or UN. And I said, okay, I'm quitting today. And since I had so many over hours, I didn't have to work. So I just came for a few more days just to, to give all my work. And then I left. And this was the first experience in the space sector. So I was at the United Nations head office in Vienna. And there was the first time, where I again felt like alive and so energetic because I met all these incredible people from the space sector who were just thinking limitless. They were so free. They were so like happy and excited about what are the things that they're doing. And then like the contract was extended. I stayed there 6 months, and this was the part, Gonzalo, where I realized how I can actually contribute to the space sector. So I met all these brightest minds of the world, and I realized that they have difficulties in being visible, self-confidence, presenting themselves, presenting their projects, products, expertise, and just finding their path as well. So I thought, this is it. This is where I can help. So I started to meet all these different incredible people. And first, I started to work with Spacewatch Global magazine on space news. Then it was UK first commercial mission of UK to the moon, Spacebit company. This is the company where they asked me to lead the marketing and PR campaign of their mission. So, and after that, I moved forward with my programs later on.
So that's the story that is not perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Ksenia, in that path, or until now, and you've met a ton of people, both in the course but also in the companies. Is there any particular failure that you said this was really important, and that, and it could be that the failure? I have a ton of failures, like a ton, like big bag failures that help me later on. Sometimes failures manifest themselves as something completely different. But is there something that you can share or you'd like to share that had that notion of failure and that changed into something? And it could be just a failure, because there are hard things in life, correct? We all know that, correct? Some person that we love dies, or we get a disease, or break an arm, or bad things happen. You get fired, you get but you can also get profitable. But there are bad things, like there are bad stuff. Is there something like that was a failure that you could say, man, this was hard for me, and how did you get out of there?
If I had, like, definitely there were failures. Maybe I just worked them so good through that I don't remember. This is funny, but what I can share is that, yeah, definitely there were mistakes. And I cannot say that, I don't remember at least that there was a big failure, something, but what I can say, there were lots of mistakes. And I think that what I've learned is just to not see mistakes as mistakes or failures, but actually as a hypothesis that, let's imagine, like, you have a list of hypotheses, right? Like of all these theories, and then you're just testing them out, and then you say, it worked, it didn't work, it worked, it didn't work. So I think that when you approach it this way, it makes it so much easier. You just know, hey, I've learned again that what we did, it was wrong, so we're not going to do it again. And what else, like what I felt like, I had a fear. I had the biggest fear.
Okay.
This I can, like, it's not a failure, but it was something that probably helped me also to create the product that I'm proud of. And the fear was to regret my customers, because, like, the people who came to me, they all had, let's say, certain expectations. They had trust in me as Space Ksenia brand. They had trust in my product. And my biggest fear was just like to not make it, to, just to break their trust, I would say. That like the promises that I give them, that they won't be realized, and the people will be disappointed by my product. So I believe this was the biggest fear that I had, and I've just learned to gather the best team, and together with them to create the product that each of the team members just give so much into this to make sure that everything works. And there are mistakes. For example, here we were having different issues with the Notion workbook that we've created. And this is amazing. We spent so much time on this Notion workbook, the interactive workbook, because we wanted to have like the best workbook that people can use to enable them to make their user experience better.
Yeah.
And in the end, what we realized that actually it was something like, it was actually making it harder, their experience, because the lectures were on the website, the homeworks were in the workbook, and it just didn't work. And sometimes there were so many issues with the links, like that they didn't work, or something like was just happening. But again, we learned it. It happened in the course, like students were saying that we're struggling, what can we do? So what we did is we immediately reacted on their messages. We gave immediate again, not answer to that, but as like, okay, this link didn't work, let's say, here's the next one, and it worked, right? And what else we implemented is, for example, already in the middle of the course, is just everything like what was given in the workbook, like necessary materials. I'm talking not about like notes and those kind or like summaries, but like, for example, assignments links. So we just put everything to the learning platform, and now there is this. And the thing is, like, now in the next cohort, definitely we're going to use this experience. Like we're just going to adapt to that. We will leave the Notion workbook, but not for these purposes. So just like for people to have this workbook to do the things they want to do, that as an additional material, but not as the main, like one of the main tools.
Ksenia, I have one question. There is a couple of them. And before we go into that,
and Paradise, forgot.
and Paradise. What is your space hack?
So I think there are a few ones.
Okay.
But the one that, let's say, the most the most recent one, let's say, that I've learned for myself, that how my space business is working, is find few crazy space enthusiasts and work with them together on your space dreams, on the wildest space dreams. And this actually connects very much with my team, because I am so lucky to have this team, and every day I'm so grateful to this team because they're all like crazy and I'm crazy. So we all work together. They're all space enthusiasts, and it is just, we're having this big dream to help with our product, get our course participants closer to space, to their wildest dreams. And this is our wild dream. So we're just working together on that. And I think this is my space hack. So if you can find a few crazy space enthusiasts that share with you your vision, just get them, create a team, and work on your dream.
That's, yeah, I like someone said, I feel that one really tight, because it's hard when you work with someone that does not have the same level of passion, work commitment, and just eagerness to know and work. It's two things, correct? So find all the crazy men or women like you and get them together. Okay. Let me go to a question in here. What percentage of female students are in your master's course? How big are the job opportunities for women compared to men after the course? And what is the minimum age of women, girls, to have to become a member of your master club? Do you want to start with some of these, or we can then also follow up after? So let's go ahead.
Let's start from the beginning.
What percentage of female students are in your master course?
Gonzalo, I believe that more or less equal, but
I can help you answer that.
I would say 60%.
Yeah, it's 60%.
Yeah, 60% of women.
So 60%, 60%. Okay. How big are the job opportunities for women compared to men after the course? This is a hard one.
Yeah, this is a hard one. But I honestly, I think I think that the numbers right now to compare, because we have currently in our community 60 people, around 60 people from the previous cohorts, and I think the numbers are not enough to let's say unveil certain statistics that I can say, okay, this is the accurate number that we can work with that. However, I would just say that it has to do a lot with an individual themselves. So for me, both are moving greatly forward. It's just about their goals, their discipline, and also execution. And this is why I like mentorship so much, because there I'm the one who's pushing. Stop planning, enough. You need to move forward to execute now. Yeah. So I think maybe we will leave for the next time if you invite me as a guest to give you a better.
I'll definitely want to bring you back again, because some of these, how big are the job opportunities for women compared to men? I think this goes back to what you said. This has to do with people finding out stuff. Okay, and I'll share you two guys. I'm going to take 1 minute of your time, Ksenia. For me to get into the space industry, you know this, correct? I sent 620 emails. 3 persons replied, and because of those 3 persons, one of them said, "Oh, we can do a project," and that's how I got the first project. So it has nothing. The same thing that I did, Isla did, and all others did. So it has. I believe it has to do with that, but my interpretation could be wrong. But I would definitely ask your view on that.
I would also say, Gonzalo, I would also say that my course is actually, this is interesting statistics that I can share, because currently we have 3 faculties in the course: career, shot dwellers faculty of Bransoners, You may know Richard Branson, right? Bransoners Faculty for Entrepreneurs, for Space Entrepreneurs. And the third one is Communicators, Educators, NITORS Faculty. So the biggest amount of students are in the Educators, Creators Faculty. The second biggest is Bransoners Entrepreneurs. And third one is Korea. And currently in Korea, we have 2 people. And this is the least amount of the members in the faculty. So what I see, the tendency also in my course, I think this is why it is difficult to tell you, okay, what is the percentage that they get the job? The tendency is that people are not necessarily, in my course, people are not necessarily looking to change the job, but they tend more to create their own business in the space sector. For example, the person, one of typical persona profile, also what I have in my course of the students is, let's say, I have a lawyer, right? Like the lawyer is working on a high position in one of the top companies in their country. They studied space law as well. They're very they have a good acumen about space law. They're in the space community already, and they want to rebrand themselves to start their space law consultancy business, for example.
Okay.
And this is what we're helping with as well. So I see that the tendency is really going more into becoming a creator, educator, and an entrepreneur in the space sector.
Okay. What about what is the minimum age for women, girls to become a member of your master club? I think this has to do with my first question a couple of years ago to you.
Yes. Am I too old for your course?
Am I too old?
Like this. And I'm seeing your message, and I'm like, what does he say? No, the youngest student until now, it was 18 years old, and the oldest one was 64 years old. And it's funny that every cohort, someone, let's say above 40 or something, comes and says, I'm probably the oldest one here. But actually, no, because there are people who are even older. Interesting fact is that a week ago, I had a call with a person who is very interested to participate in the next cohort. Because this person's dream is to meet Elon Musk. And this young man, has a startup idea that he's working already. He's participating in the NASA hackathon. He's from Istanbul. He's going to go to Italy in spring to continue working on his startup and so on. So, guess, how old is this man?
15.
11.
Wow.
And I talked to this young guy on the phone. Actually, his mother contacted me because she found me through other people. She's like, okay, Ksenia, maybe you can help me. Maybe I don't know what to do with my son. He wants to meet Elon Musk. And I talked to him, Gonzalo. It was crazy. The pitch that he gave me about his startup, and that you can not only use this on Mars, but also in extreme conditions such as forest and this and this and this. I was like, how is his brain working? He's 11. So probably this will be our first youngest participant.
You raise a really good point, and that's why I want to ask you about paradise. Are you in paradise?
It depends on the definition of paradise. But for me, definition of paradise is, I think that every person really can define it for themselves. And for me, it is freedom and being happy, feeling happy and fulfilled with what you're doing. So, and for me, freedom has always been important. And before, I was really thinking that, I'm a perfect employee, that I will do a crazy career in one of the companies. So I really saw me somewhere like CEO of a company and so on, like vice president of communications or something at this level. but I realized that actually freedom for me is so much more important. And that is why being an entrepreneur and having a startup on this rebrand academy, it's the best thing I've ever wanted. And since I did my ikigai and learned about my mission, about my purpose, the things that I'm currently doing are definitely are things that should be in paradise, and maybe not to 100% because we're still on the way to that, but it makes me feel fulfilled, definitely 100%. I'm happy to wake up every morning and to work on our things during the day, in the night if it's necessary, in the early morning. Because why during the night? Because team members are in different countries,
Exactly.
and sometimes it's just necessary. And I'm so happy to do that. Yesterday I went to sleep at 4 a.m. You know why? And I have conference here. I have to be here in the morning. And today I had my presentation actually about my business as first. So, and what I was doing, well, revising the program for the next cohort. This is
So I'm gonna take these 2 minutes more off the schedule, just because there is one question here that we had that is, Ksenia, what, being very clear to make sure that I use the right words, what what are the wildest dreams next?
depending how like what's the close future, the not close future, but let's say can I divide it like the wildest?
You can,
So
because it's your dream,
yeah,
okay?
right. Okay, so I would prefer to have this like in two levels wildest dreams. So the first one is regarding my company, is currently I position our company as a education provider in the space niche, and I want our company, not only I want it, but actually it's again the team members as well who are supporting this vision that we have, is to develop our product. And this time our course is already on the platform. We started to use AI for certain things. We created this like own platform where like you have every student has their account, and it's they can get their points. We have a chatbot that we implement. So we integrate more and more technical things into the product itself. And our next goal now is to become an ed tech company, like that we can have this real platform that not only maybe our students can use, but even companies can maybe kind of rent it, let's say, to use it for their development of their employees, team dynamics, and so on. This is one, and I think it's pretty wild because this is the serious direction where we want to move forward.
Yep.
From the course provider into ed tech company. And the second wild dream is, so I want that our products and our method will get our students closer to space. Actually, not closer to space, but they can go to space with our help.
Okay.
And one of the examples how it is connected with personal branding. One of the examples, for example, there is a Space for Humanity, right, initiative, you probably know, and one girl, she was accepted to the program and she was supposed to go to space, but they didn't take her because she didn't have a big audience. So, and here is, we want to help people to become visible. We want to make people become stars, so they can get us closer to space, and that they can go to space and realize their wildest dreams. This is the dream.
That's powerful. I want to say that independent of what we've spoken about in here, and that in certain parts, as we were talking about, it does look like, and it does have a sales speech, it does have, this is the product, but it's impossible not to have. It's impossible not for me not to talk about the building and my company that are doing things, because it's part of me. The same thing that I believe is from Ksenia. But I also felt during her course, customer testimonial, if you want to think about it, is that this can become personal. This, I mean, when you do the ikigai, when you do the 360s, the personas, when you describe your archetypes, when you just work on it, and it becomes personal. That's I don't know, Ksenia, I don't have other words to explain this. It becomes a personal thing. You see what I mean? It's not like I'll go do that course because it's part of my, well, whatever, evaluation career. The course is not mandatory anywhere, correct? No, it's like you do this, you need to put the work. So I want to thank you for that, Ksenia. It was great to have the cohort. I still maintain contacts with Logan and Ayala, and of course yourself.
Amazing.
We still chat around things, and
yeah, the community that we have is really strong, and I think that this is also one of the key factors why this is so personal, and why this is so, like, it has this like real touch, because everyone there is just being so supportive.
Ksenia, where can people find you, except if they have to travel to Dubai? Okay, let's not in Dubai.
Well, next week I'm in Italy.
Okay.
and I'm planning to meet two of my students, actually, Alessia from the first cohort, and also Vittorio from the first cohort.
Oh, wow. Okay. Where can people find you and your courses, and what's the easiest way to folks to get excited or looking into the product, and or even chatting with you? What would you recommend?
Oh, yes. By the way, I'm always ready to chat. I think I'm the social media person who loves talking to people directly on social media. I don't answer immediately often. No, sometimes I don't answer immediately, but whenever I have time in my busy schedule, I do it. I love doing it. It's not a must-have in my work, but it's really that I enjoy. I enjoy learning about people. And so the best way is, LinkedIn, Instagram, and can I put it here in the chat? Yeah,
share
I can do
there.
that. Awesome. And of course, our page for the course. However, the next cohort, by the way, starts on 20th of February, but we have not, it will be announced soon. This is unofficial information for you.
Unofficial, okay. This is really, okay, really.
And the LinkedIn, I will share my profile, and of course Instagram. In Instagram, look, everyone who's listening, in Instagram, if you want to get a little from my life as well, what I do, because everything, it's more about video content there. So I share a lot what I'm doing on a daily basis. I love sharing different tips and so on, so that you can join. It's Space Ksenia. I think that
I've already shared it on LinkedIn. So
yeah. And
here we go. Okay. Also on Insta. Okay.
Yeah. And this is the math program, if you like. Oh, that's interesting. I missed the whole chat.
No worries. I was. This allows us to have.
That's terrible. I missed the whole chat.
That's why it was so important to bring you off stage in a way. It's focusing here so that we could have and go inside many of these questions. I appreciate your time. I hope that you enjoy there in Dubai, and then suddenly we can connect more, and definitely bring you up a second time, because there was, from the list of questions that we did like 5, it's 10, so at least we have more to do. And there were very interesting questions around how do you change these percentages, correct? I think that's the more data that you get probably could be fun to share with people in here, because many of the folks that I know that are in my email list or this list over here, they will take it. This is what I believe. They will take it, they will go home and start thinking about it. They will not do nothing for a while until one day, probably let me give it a try. So that's why I wanted to share your contacts to be specific on certain elements independent of the age, sex. Right? Go there and go and do some of this work, okay? And in my case, it was really helpful. Okay, the videos are still there. I still have to do.
Thank you, Gonzalo, for creating this amazing space master plan. I love the name of the podcast.
Yeah, it's been extremely fun. Ksenia, enjoy. See you very soon. Okay.
Wait.
Yes, please.
No.
Oh.
Of course, this is an important element that you also shouldn't forget, because you continue doing your videos. When did you stop them?
I had a bit of a emotional breakdown after my job at Astra finished, and I decided I'm gonna go on written content. I also found that I want to dive into other areas. So I said, okay. So my protection right now has been writing versus showing up on camera. But I decided one thing: like every week, I'm gonna bring someone like yourself that is strong in space. I said that is very clear, independent of the company that I work for. I'm gonna bring them in. We're gonna share things that can help others. We're gonna inspire people, and so that they can go to space. That for me was very clear. Like, it's not gonna be every week. No, so it's not gonna be every day, but once a week, I'm gonna bring someone like that. I think these guys are doing amazing work. Come on, just look at it. You're gonna we need to do that. So that's been the decision.
I think you should definitely do it. You should definitely do it. I think I enjoyed it as well a lot.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I think I would love to see there also like different.
Okay, I'll think about the daily series. That's okay. Cool. Thanks for the kick.
Thank you so much, Gonzalo, for having me here today, and it's been truly amazing. So, guys, thank you for joining us.